Today, we're going to review all the words we learned in Book K. Muddy. When it rains, water mixes with dirt and turns into mud. Sometimes mud is slippery. Soil. The dirt that plants grow in is called soil. In this picture, the arrow is pointing to the soil. Join. The boy is running to join his team. The boy with the blonde hair want to join the team. Here's another way to think about the word join. If you bring together two pieces of a puzzle, you join the pieces. Ring. The four children are holding hands to form a ring, a circle that you make by holding hands. Sometimes a word means more than one thing. The word ring also means a piece of jewelry in the shape of a circle that you can wear on your finger. Slip. When you slip, your feet slide, and sometimes you fall down. Stare. A boy and a gorilla looking at each other hard, without even looking away for a minute. When you look at something that way, you stare at it. Row. Bowling pins are lined up in a row. The flowers in the story were planted in rows too. It also means to move a boat in the water using oars. Dew is small drops of water that form overnight during warm weather. Strong. When someone can lift something heavy like weights, we say that person is strong. Fluffy. Fluffy means soft and puffy. The dogs in this picture are different. One dog is fluffy and one isn't. Wave. The girl in the picture is waving to someone. Why do people wave? Sometimes people wave to say hello or to get someone's attention. Look at the picture again, and we can see a wave in the ocean. Remember that sometimes a word means more than one thing. The water in the ocean often curls up high in waves. Tiny. Two fish in this picture. How are the fish different? One is big and one is very small. Another word for small is tiny. Wiggle. A caterpillar in the picture. It's moving along from side to side and up and down. It is wiggling. Some animals wiggle when they move from place to place. In this picture, the caterpillar is wiggling. Insects. What do you see in this picture? There are 3 different kinds of insects here. They are ant, dragonfly, ladybug. Insect is another word for bug. Creep. Here's another animal moving along. When you creep, you move along very slowly and quietly. In this picture, the cat is creeping along on its belly. Community. There are a town center and some people in the picture. It looks like the center of a town, doesn't it? Remember when we talked about community, we said a group of people who live in one place or area. You and your neighbors make up a community. Destroy. There are 2 things in this picture. The first castle looks nice, but what happened to the other one? It was destroyed. It is a bad thing. Healthy. Look at the 2 children on this card. One is lying in bed, looking sick, and the other is playing soccer. Who looks healthy? That means he's not sick. Signs. There are some signs in the picture. A stop sign, a street sign, and a sign you would find in a garden. There are many kinds of signs, such as the above, signs in front of stores and signs at school. Peaceful. Look at the picture on this card. Someone is sleeping in a garden. It looks like she fell asleep because things are so quiet and peaceful. If something is calm and quiet, we say it's peaceful. Glance. This card shows 2 people looking at things. The woman is looking very closely at a map. She even has a magnifying glass to see it better. The man is looking at a sign quickly as he runs by. When people look at something quickly like that, we say they glance at it. Empty. A glass turned upside down in the picture. There is nothing in the glass. If there is nothing in the glass, we say it is empty. Leak. We can see a swimming pool in the picture. It looks like there is a hole in it. Water is leaking out of the pool. Yes, the pool has sprung a leak. Split. We see a pizza has been cut into pieces. When something is cut into pieces, we say it has been split. Float. We see a leaf and some water. Notice how the leaf is on top of the water. It floats on the water. When something floats, it stays on top, without sinking. Things that are very light can float in the air too. Collect. We see a girl is collecting seashells. When you collect things, you bring a bunch of them together. Cradle. The baby is sleeping in a cradle. A cradle is a small bed for a baby. It usually rocks side to side. Burst. We can see a balloon that has popped. The balloon has burst. When something splits open, especially if it does so quickly, we say it has burst. Flat. Let's look at the top of the table. See how it's even and not bumpy. That means it's flat. Patch. The pumpkins are growing in a patch. A patch is a small area. This picture shows a pumpkin patch, an area where pumpkins grow. Remember that sometimes a word means more than one thing. Look at the picture card again and find the little box in the corner. Patch also means a small piece of cloth or other material that is placed over a hole to fix it. Rotten. There are 2 peaches in the pictures. One of the peaches looks fresh and good to eat, the other one looks rotten. When something is rotten, it goes bad. The second peach has become rotten, smelly, and mushy. Stumble. What is the chipmunk in this picture doing? It is tripping and almost falling down. To stumble means to trip and almost fall. It looks like the chipmunk is stumbling over the log. Rope. There is a rope in the picture. A rope is a thick piece of twisted string that is very strong. Sometimes a rope is used for jumping. Edge. We can see a desk in the picture. The arrow is pointing to the edge of the desk. The edge is the border of something. It's where the 2 flat parts come together. Invitation. This picture shows an invitation to a birthday party. It tells who the party is for, when the party will be, and where it is. Sometimes invitations come by phone or email too. Blame. In this picture, the boy is blaming the cat for breaking the cookie jar. When you blame someone for something, you say that it is their fault and not your fault. Able. This picture shows a bird that is able to fly and a baby bird that is not able to fly yet. When you are able to do something, you can do it. Glossy. Glossy means smooch and shiny. This card shows 2 floors. The one with the squares is glossy. It is very shiny. Polite. Being polite means having good manners and being pleasant to other people. Look at the 2 ducks eating pizza. One of them is being polite and one isn't. Naughty. Look at the 2 children in this picture. Which one is being naughty? Yes, the one coloring on the wall instead of on the paper. He is naughty since he does not behave himself. Rub. We see a boy rubbing his head. When you rub something, you pass your hand or something else over it back and forth. What are some reasons why you might rub your head? Maybe you hurt it, or you have a headache. Crowd. Look at the picture. A large group of people is called a crowd. You might see a crowd in a mall or a school picnic. Fit. Look at the 2 pictures of the boy. One shows him with a top that fits, and one shows him with a cap that doesn't fit. Delighted. Look at the girl in this picture. She is smiling because she is delighted. Delighted means pleased or happy. Stretch. Look at the picture of the girl. She's stretching. When you stretch, you make your body as long as it can be. You put your hands high over your head and reach way up, or you can stretch just one part of your body. Sometimes you might stretch your arm out to reach something. You can also stretch other things. When you stretch a rubber band, it gets longer. Office. An office is a place where people do business. Our parents work in the office. Patient. Look at the boy sitting on the table. The doctor is examining him. The person a doctor takes care of is called a patient. Proud. Look at the mother with her son. She is smiling and has her arm around him. The boy is holding a trophy. His mom is proud of him because he won an award. Tools. We can see a hammer, a screwdriver, and a saw. These things are called tools. They can help you do a particular job. Sight. The girl is looking at a kitten. She can see this kitten, so we say the kitten is in her sight. If something is in sight, you can see it. If something is out of sight, you cannot see it. The gray kitten in the picture is out of the girl's sight. Surprise. When you do something that someone is not expecting, you surprise them. Did the jack in the box surprise the baby in the picture? You can tell by the look on his face that it did. Whisper. When you whisper, you talk very softly and quietly to someone. The girl in the picture is whispering in her friend's ear. Present. A present is a gift. People get or give presents on special occasions like birthdays and anniversaries. Decorate. When you decorate something, you add things to it to make it prettier. People decorate their homes for parties, holidays, and other special celebrations. Lump. A lump is a kind of shapeless bump. This picture shows a lump of clay. Giggle. When you giggle, you laugh in a kind of nervous or silly way. The girl in this picture is giggling. Frown. Look at the boy's face. Does he look happy? No. The boy is frowning. He's making an unhappy face. Plenty. This picture shows a horn of plenty. Plenty means a lot of something. There is plenty of fruit in this picture. Straight. Look at the two lines in the picture. One line is wavy, and one line is straight. Relax. When you relax, you rest and take it easy, like the man in this picture. After the party, mother sat down to relax because she was tired. Dangle. The little girl is dangling from the monkey bars in this picture. When something dangles, it hangs down and is able to move back and forth. Chilly. The boy in this picture feels cold. Another word for cold is chilly. Straw. A rabbit is lying on a bed of straw in this picture. Straw is dried pieces of plants like wheat. Straw is often used to make soft, dry beds for animals like horses and rabbits. Look at the picture again and find the little box in the corner. We can see a glass with a straw in it. Sometimes words mean more than one thing. A straw is also a long, thin tube that you drink through. Instruments. We can see a trumpet, a guitar, and a drum in this picture. These are all musical instruments. Instruments are things you play to make music. Whistle. In this picture, the girl and the bird are whistling. Birds often whistle, and so do people. A whistle is a kind of high, sharp, musical sound. Fresh. Something that's fresh is new and clean. What do you see in the picture? The red bowl has fresh water in it. The other bowl of water looks dirty and has things floating in it. It is not fresh. We can also say food is fresh when it is not stale like old bread or wilted like old lettuce. Poke. A boy is poking at a pile of dirt with a stick in this picture. When you poke something, you push it with your finger or with another object, like a stick. Sniff. The man in this picture is sniffing the good smells coming from the cookies. When you sniff, you are often trying to smell something. Practice. A girl is shooting baskets in this picture. She's practicing so she can get better at shooting baskets. When you practice, you do the same thing over and over until you get better at it. Den. A den is a comfortable room where people go to relax. People might sit in a den to read or watch television. Look at the picture card again and find the box in the comber. The place where some wild animals live is called a den. An animal den is often in a cave or in a hole in the ground. Lions, foxes, and other kinds of animals live in dens. Melt. The snowman is melting. Things that are frozen, like snowmen and ice pops, can melt when they get warm. An ice cube is pretty hard when it's frozen, but when it melts, the ice turns to water. Balance. The boy is standing on one leg. Yes, he's balancing on one leg. When you balance, you keep yourself steady so you don't fall over. Bounce. The ball in the picture is bouncing. Bouncing means springing up and down. Balls bounce and kids on a trampoline bounce. Sparkle. We can see a crown in the picture. Can you see how the stones in the crown sparkle? When something sparkles, it gives off small flashes of bright light. Full. The bag in the picture is full. That means there's as much stuff in it as there can be. If I have an empty bowl and put lots of fruit in it and there's no room for anything else, it's full. Trade. When you trade, you give something and get something else. Look at the picture. One of the children might be saying, "I will give you this dinosaur if you give me your frog." Top. The arrow is pointing to the top of the stairs. The top is the highest port of something. Look at the picture again and find the little box in the corner. A toy top is over there. This is another word that means more than one thing. Top means the highest point and a toy you play with. Drain. We can see a drain in a sink. The drain is the hole where water goes down in a sink or tub. There are also drains outside. When it rains a lot, the water goes down these storm drains so the streets don't get flooded. Dusty. Dust is lots of tiny bits of dirt or other things that float in the air. Dust can collect on furniture, as it has in this picture. Chalk makes dust, too. When something has dust on it, it's dusty. Shady. Does it look bright and sunny under the tree? No. It looks shady. A shady place is not in the sun. The shadow of the tree in this picture makes the area under it cool and kind of dark. It makes it shady. Cushion. A cushion is a kind of pillow. Chairs and couches often have cushions to make them feel soft and comfortable. Touch. The girl is touching the fence in this picture. When you touch something, you put your hand on it. You are able to feel it. The girl is touching the fence to see if the paint feels wet or dry. Smooth. When something is smooth, it has an even surface that you can feel by touching it. It's not rough or bumpy. Look at the road in this picture. Which part of it is smooth? Yes, the part with the car on it. The rest of the road is rough. Metal. The chain in this picture is made of metal. Metal is a strong, hard material. Gold, silver, steel, iron, brass, and copper are kinds of metal. Silky. We can see a dog in the picture, and its fur is soft. When something feels soft and smooth, we can say it is silky. It feels like the cloth called silk. The dog in the picture has a silky coat. Include. When you include someone or something, you make them a part of something. Look at the children playing the board game. They are inviting the boy standing up to play with them. No one is left out. Everyone is included. Comfort. Look at the mother and her baby. The mother is comforting the baby by picking her up and cuddling her. To comfort someone is to make them feel better when they are feeling bad. Stroke. The boy in this picture is stroking the horse's mane. When you stroke something, you run your hand over it softly. Hard. Something that is hard is firm and solid when you touch it. Look at the pictures on this card. Which of these things is hard? Yes, the rock. Gentle. To be gentle is to be kind and careful. Is the boy in the picture gentle? Yes, he is stroking the bunny softly and carefully. Sting. What is happening in this picture? The boy is being stung by a bee. When a bee stings, it pricks the skin with its sharp stinger, and it hurts. Beak. We can see a toucan in the picture. The arrow is pointing to the bird's beak, which is hard and sharp. Blossoms. We see flowers in the picture. Another word for flowers is blossoms. Pear. We see a pair of mittens. A set of two things that belong together is called a pair. Fear. What is the boy in this picture afraid of? A spider. When you are afraid of something, you fear that thing. Brave. When you are brave, you do something even though you might be afraid to do it. The firefighter has to be very brave to fight fires and save people and animals who are in trouble. Protect. We see a girl riding her bike. She is wearing a helmet and elbow and knee pads. These will protect her from getting hurt if she falls down. Store. We can see the squirrel is storing a lot of nuts, so it will have them later. Squirrels store food for the winter. Look at the picture again and find the little box in the corner. We can see a store. Yes, store also means a place where you buy things. Miserable. This little girl looks miserable. When you're miserable, you're really unhappy about something. Did you ever have a bad cold, where your nose is stuffed up and you feel hot and achy? That is feeling miserable. Wing. We can see a bird in this picture. The arrow is pointing to the bird's wing. The bird's wings allow it to fly through the air. Some kinds of insects and bars have wings too. So do airplanes. Flutter. Can you see a hummingbird's wings fluttering? When something flutters, it moves in quick little movements. We also say that things flutter to the ground when they seem to dance back and forth in the air, like leaves or snowflakes sometimes do. Tracks. We can see animal footprints in this picture. It looks like an animal has been walking in the snow. You can tell because the animal has left tracks behind. Tracks are the outline of feet, paws, or hooves. People can follow an animal's tracks to find out where the animal went. Look at the box in the corner. What does it show? Yes, the train runs on tracks. Tracks are also the rails that trains run on. Stream. We can see a little river in the picture. A little river is called a stream. Hoof. What is the arrow pointing to in this picture? Yes, a horse's foot. A hoof is the foot of an animal like a horse, goat, or deer. Sink. We can see a toy boat. I think it's going to sink. When something sinks, it goes under the water. Things can sink into mud or snow too. For example, when you're walking, your feet can sink into mud or snow. Look at the little box in the corner. Sink is a word that means more than one thing. It means to go under something like water, and it also names the thing we wash our hands in. Prepare. When you prepare for something, you get ready for it. What do you think these people are going to prepare? Yes, food. Ruined. When something is ruined, it is destroyed. In this picture, someone spilled water all over it and the ink is smeared so you can't read it. This paper is ruined. Record. A record is information left behind or collected and written down. Your birth certificate is a record of your birth. It tells where and when you were born, how much you weighed, and who your parents are. Look at the picture. When you go for a checkup, the doctor measures you and writes down your height and weight. The doctor keeps a record of things about you. Animals leave a record of where they've been with the tracks they make. Direction. The way something is pointing or moving is the direction it is going. Point with your finger to show which direction the girl in the picture is going. Broad. Broad means the same thing as wide. Look at the two ribbons in the picture. Which one is broad? Yes, the red one. Bird. We can see a bird in this picture. There are lots of different kinds of birds. This is a common kind of bird called a blue jay. All birds have wings, feathers, and a beak. Measure. When you measure something, you find out how big it is or how much it weighs. What is the girl in the picture doing to the board? Yes, measuring it. Claws. Look at the picture of a bird's foot. Claws are the sharp nails that birds and some animals have on their feet. They use their claws to hold on to things and to protect themselves. Dawn. Dawn is the time of day when the sun comes up, the early morning. Release. We see a girl letting some balloons go. She's releasing the balloons. Release means to let go. Demonstrate. When you demonstrate something, you show how to do it. What is the man in this picture demonstrating? Yes, how to paint. Capture. To capture means to catch. What is the boy in this picture trying to capture? A bug or insect. Tangled. We can see a kitten playing with a ball of yarn. It's got the yarn all tangled. When something gets tangled, it gets all twisted into knots. Narrow. Look at the two rectangles in this picture. One of them is wide, the other is narrow. The red one is narrow. Tube. What do you see in this picture? Yes, a cardboard tube. It looks like the kind of tube you find in a roll of paper towels. A tube is a long, narrow container that is open at one or both ends. The end.